Presidential election. If you are just tuning in, this is Journalist Hangout, and we're reaching you live from our headquarters here in Lagos, Nigeria. And I still have Bola Tinubu and Gani Kairi Balogun. Gentlemen, before we went on that break, we were talking about the pattern of this campaign and how the message they've taken it to the electorate, and 93 million voters. Muhammadu Buhari emerged, won with 15 million votes in 2015. Now, looking at the level of consciousness.
The level of consciousness is...
Do you see the figure improving?
It's definitely going to be massive.
That's a given.
Massive. If you look at the youth population itself, that's about 26% of the voting figure, about 26%. That's even massive in itself. I'm sure that most of these guys will vote. So we are talking about 15 million voters there.
New voters.
New voters that will vote. Understand? Now we're not talking about the other level, the people of 50, 40 and 50.
The traditional voters.
Exactly. There will be votes coming from there. Then you will not talk about those who are a bit older too. So it's going to be a massive one. You see, that's when Atiku was saying, do not disappoint. He's actually saying, do not disappoint me. Go and vote for me in your different communities. That's my reading of it.
And go and get the votes.
Go and get the votes for me in your communities, because that's the only way you can get. Because once they do it in the different communities, it is the entire coalition of those things will give it. Translate.
This particular event, all from the ward level down, state chairman, people that are strategic in different areas, so that Bola Tinubu cannot be in 774 local governments, but we have people around to, carry out his
almost 3 years to go around. To go around 774.
So it is important for any serious political party to have representation across these 197,000 polling units.
No serious party will have less presence if they are serious to win. And this is why. The Constitution says 24 states. That means you need 30 states for you to be strong in. Because you cannot win everything. But if you go out and say, okay, I have
25% too.
25% in 24 states. There will be days, like what they say, a bad day in the office. That something will just happen and swing it in another direction. And you'll be left on the sun without a paddle. What is going to happen that I find interesting, because politics also doing the permutation, is that the structure that the APC is presenting is on multi-level. They are looking at the wards where the votes will come. They are looking at the local governments where the coalition will come. They are looking at states. And what they are doing is to make sure that the powers that be in those local governments and those wards are mobilized enough, if there's a word like that, to mobilize enough for them to deliver. Because ultimately, you have to deliver. You can say everything you want on social media, you can ignore accusations on particular candidates and focus on others. But at the end of the day, it is your ability to bring people out on election day to vote that make the difference. You can tell people, I'm going to demarcate Ayo, so his people will not turn out. But if Ayo is smart, Ayo provide logistics to ensure that all his supporters are standing online on the day of election to vote. That to me is just, it's not peculiar to Nigeria. It happens in the UK, it happens in the US. Where candidates are mandated, or even on the day of election, to mobilize his people. Because unless you do that,
get out the votes.
That's what Asiwaju is doing here. Those full soldiers are going to be on the grassroots, is what he has called in and said, look, you guys, this is where we stand. This is what you need to do. Don't assume that I'm from state A, that APC has never won. Go and do your best in that ward. If there are 500 voters and you can swing 150 to me, that's about 30%. That's about 25%. And if I can get that across the states, I'm already president-elect. So that's why the structure is important. Because it's one thing to sit down in front of a TV station and tell people you are very popular. It's another thing for people to stand up on the day of election and go out and risk their life and limbs to elect you in as either councillor or president as a member. But unless that is done, they just go around the
smaller parties that don't have the war chest, the people, the financial model, the foot soldiers to go across like this. And okay, you look like a party like is it AAC, Omori Yolesho Race Party.
Yes.
He's also in the race.
You know, in Olympics, it's not about the fact is just come and participate in the Olympics. You don't have to win any medal or anything. It's good to be the same thing with some of these parties. They are just part of the electoral process. Most of them are not likely to really make any headway. But I gathered that some parties are trying to woo all these other sponsor parties to their side.
Okay.
So that
at the end of the day,
the little one you have, let your people vote.
Endorse us.
Endorse us and let them vote for us. And that's the only thing, because you see, like,
they might not fly alone ultimately.
Yeah, yes, they will, of course.
Oh, a lot of people.
In fact, when you talk about presidential candidates today, you are talking about only 4 people that are well known. That are people believe
that there are 18 on paper.
Exactly. So if they now start talking to all these parties that, look, tell your people, look, vote for our candidates. And it's doable, it's possible, because at the state level, I know that they do it at most times. I know, for example, in your state, I know that when the incumbent governor was coming in, he had a kind of coalition. Yes, that brought him in. Because Labour, Zenith Party, you know, so many other parties that came together.
Zenith Labour Party.
Zenith Labour Party, yeah, by this, you know. Then Accord, all of those parties, they came together.
And with the strength of the likes of Adewale
Ladoja, exactly. So, in fact, in your state, that was the highest vote ever in the history of your state, because the person that came second got about 300,000 votes.
Yeah.
And that 300,000 votes is always the vote that always brings in the government.
That's the benchmark.
Oh, yes.
That's the benchmark.
That's the benchmark in your state.
So the coalition made the difference.
It made a difference, because the governor got 500,000. The person that eventually won got 500,000. So the coalition is not a strange thing in politics. You can always tell people, vote for us, you know, and it will happen.
But of course, it's based on negotiation.
Oh, of course, it's definitely.
Don't forget our friend who died recently, that professor, that pastor, that is in Ibadan, that is always coming out every.
Oh, yes.
I'm sure you know him.
Chief Olapade.
No. Every 4 years, he will endorse somebody. He's always the presidential
candidate of his party. You know, it's just about negotiate, because these people, no matter what, they have 2 people, 3 people there over. You know, that will say
local,
it counts.
All politics are local.
Yes, it counts. 1, 2, 3 there, because you can even lose an election by about 5 votes. So every vote counts, even the vote of an idiot. You know. It counts.
Because ultimately, what you need to get is 25% of the votes in states where you are not popular.
Yeah.
And that will just end up to be around 10,000 votes or 20,000 votes. So if you ignore the state totally, where will you get that?
Yeah.
So there are the smaller parties at home who are known for service. Maybe they have a very strong man in that local government. They work with you. They will give you to commissioners.
But it is even very easy. In city of your state, Akala, when Akala was alive, you know, towards that election, Akala decided to leave APC. He went to ADP. Now, people started running around all over this place, running at Skelter. Akala had already formed, he was the president, governorship candidate of ADP. At the end of the day, he had an arrangement with APC that he would work for them. But for some areas, he would not work for them, because one of the people that won for your state House of Assembly won on the platform of Akala's party, still there today.
I know.
And the person is working with APC because Akala had got to APC and all those things. But that person worked on the platform. Yes, you know. So coalition.
We have one in Lagos that's very popular, the Mushiman. Wherever he goes, he wins.
Okay, yeah.
Anywhere he goes, he wins.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter whether party only exists.
Now talking about independent candidates, a lot of Nigerians want to say that, look, they're tired of the existing political parties on ground, that we should be able to, one man that doesn't have affiliation with parties.
The danger in independent candidate at the federal level, even at the state level, is this. He will come as his own man, but he will still need people to work with in the houses of assembly or national assembly. And they have their own agenda. So you cannot come in as an independent candidate and say, okay, you want to change certain parts of the constitution. You need to carry along a sizable number of elected officials across Nigeria. That means you spend your next 4 years cutting deals or negotiating things that normally will be part of your party's agenda if you are drawn on a ticket of a party. Because the 4 years you are going to spend, it will be solely for negotiations. Because they'll be fighting you tooth and nail every day.
Instead of the way.
At the end of the day, you'll be independent, but you'll have achieved nothing.
It even goes beyond that. If you look at it, if you are an independent candidate and you've said something here, structure, and you need structure to win an election. You need structure at the local government, at the world level, local government level, state level, even at the federal level. So if you are independent, where are you going to put the structure together?
Okay. We'll take this break. When we